About 1 year ago I bought myself the Canyon Grizl, and now after around 300 hours of cycling and also this long distance gravel race, the South Rapids, which you can see here, where I spent 37 hours continuously on this bike, I want to give you my opinion, experience and also a bit of a review of this bike. So the Canyon Gravel kind of family started already in 2017 with the Canyon Inflite, which is like the cyclocross bike for cycling around in circles in mud pits, I would say. In 2018 there was really the first gravel bike released, the Canyon Grail. If you remember, this is like with this double-decker handlebar, which is really for this smooth kind of forest roads, I would say, forest gravel. And then in 2021 the Canyon Grizl was released, which I really see as like this mountain bike kind of terrain. Gravel cycling, so a bit of a rougher gravel, and also bikepacking multi-day events, I would say. And why I see it that way I will explain now in the video. There are three main kind of builds of the Grizl, which is the AL, the aluminum, then the CF SL, the carbon fiber super light, and the CF SLX, which is the higher end, which is the carbon fiber super light extreme. This actually is the CF SLX. Altogether it's the Grizl CF SLX 8 for version 8 and 1B, which I will explain a little bit later. So the SLX, the Superlight Extreme, really actually makes it name. It has 8.5 kilograms, a little bit more for the size S, which is standing here. And yeah, it's perfect. And also with all the screws on it and also the different mounting system, it's no problem to get additional bags for it. The seat post is actually the same as in the Grail, which is the S15 VCLS, I think it's called, which stands for Vertical Comfort, Lateral Stiffness. And actually Canyon claims that this is providing a lot of durability and also stiffness and also a bit of a suspension. I would interpret actually when in the name Vertical Comfort, then it should be suspension. I personally don't really feel that or see that. It's more for adjusting, so you really can like adjust the saddle like this by just opening a little bit the back for the saddle post. So it's very easily actually accessible, but I would not really say it's a lot of suspension. What provides more suspension, in my opinion, is the massive clearance. So the tire clearance is 50 millimeters compared to the Grail, which is a 42 millimeter. It really shows, it makes this step towards more the mountain bike kind of world or environment. The bike also comes with 45 millimeter Schwalbe G1 tires. And yes, if you, for example, in a race in the Seven Serpents, after like 150-200 kilometers, it felt like I need a little bit more of suspension because the gravel got much more rough. Then I was thinking, so I just let a little bit of air out and it was actually working pretty well. And this, in my opinion, is quite more suspension than really like the seat post as it was claimed. But anyway, in the end, you can really make like almost a mountain bike out of it when you have like these 50 millimeters tires. Additionally, the whole frame, so the stack height and also like the top tube is a little bit shorter compared to the Grail, kind of the same sizing, and which provides more comfort and agility, I would say. At least more agility. For me, I really feel like it's a bit more comfort also, if you compare this, as said, with the Grail and also my road bike. So my road bikes also have a bit of a bigger frame. And it's actually really nice, and also an indication, I would say, to be a bit more in the mountain bike side, to have like this rough terrain kind of good handling. So actually to put it now together for a gravel bike or for the rougher gravel, it's like perfect. It's like super agile, it's like comfort. Actually it's light enough to really push or sometimes carry it up some steeper kind of slopes. It has this bigger tire clearance for actually have a bit more suspension, have this mountain bike kind of environment. But the other question was for me, because it looks like with the handlebar more like a road bike, how actually is it on the road? Let's talk about the characteristics on the road. So as mentioned before in the name, with 1V stands actually for one chainring at the front. It's a 14-piece chainring at the front and a 13-speed cassette with a 1044 at the back. And this drivetrain is actually called the Campagnolo EK. Actually really like it, and if I start comparing it to my road bikes where I have like this 2-piece setup, so 2 chain links at the front and normally kind of 11 or 12 speed cassette at the back. So if we look at this kind of how many gears you have, then in the road bikes you normally have something like 22, 24 kind of gears, but in fact there are a lot of duplicates, so you end up maybe with 14 or 15, and with the 13 speed you're not too far behind of this setup actually. One special thing actually is this shifting. We have like this thumb lever kind of shifting, and it took me a little bit to get used to it, but once I really got used to it, I really started to like it. Additionally, as you have this 1V setup, there is no front derailleur, and which makes it altogether a little bit less wear actually, easier to maintain. I would also feel a little bit less weight, and you have like one chain line, and it's not so prone to shifting errors. So if there's something on the road bike, something I make like a shift error and so the chain drops off, actually never happened to me on this setup here. So I really like it how it is. I feel like also when I become a little bit faster, and of course you will not become as fast as with the road bike with this kind of wide tires, but when you're faster, actually I never really feel like I lacked gearing. So that was actually, or as it is, really good. Actually, you see, it's a fully mechanical setup, so there's no like battery problems or so. I personally actually like that, because if you go to longer bikepacking trips or into, I would say, long distance races in the middle of nowhere, then it's nice, or for me at least gives me a good feeling that I can really just repair it with let's say screws here and there. Actually, as you see, I really like the Campagnolo EK, and if you like the video, then leave a like and maybe hit also the subscribe button. One thing actually which I found out is when I wanted to get a bit of a backup, quick link for the chain, I run a bit into issues because not everybody bike kind of store has like the 13-speed quick link yet available. But that's just one thing, so it's a little bit maybe of pre-planning before I really go and not just hop the day before a race into a bike shop. The mounting and assembly actually is super easy, as I would say with all Canyon bikes. You get like the big bike box, then you just put out the bike, you put the front wheel in, attach the handlebars and also the seat post, and it's basically ready to hit the gravel. So that was no problem at all. One thing I found actually is at the front in this version there is no quick release. It makes it look very clean actually, but if you do not have maybe the right tool somewhere in the middle of nowhere, then it's a bit of an issue. But normally when you're in the middle of nowhere, then when you forgot your tool, then you also forgot your tubes. So anyway, to summarize, the Canyon Grizl is actually, I think, really well built for this rougher gravel terrain. However, it has also this fast rolling kind of road bike characteristics. So as explained, you can order it in the aluminum or the carbon fiber, and in the fork you have also an option to actually add suspension up to I think 40 millimeters. So it's really customizable in the ordering process, whether you want to have it more of a kind of mountain bike kind of characteristic, also with this 50 millimeters of tire clearance, or you want to have it more as a kind of a road bike characteristics, then you can add a bit of slick tires, no fork suspension, and then it feels more like a road bike, I would say. So that's actually pretty cool about this bike. Additionally, the mounting and the assembly process is 15 minutes and it's done, so also super easy to do, and even if you would need to time there, it's everything well explained online, as I said. The disadvantages, I would say, I was a little bit skeptic about the 1V with this one chainring at the front, but actually now I really love it. So this Campagnolo EK I would really recommend for this kind of setup. Also, as explained with this chain, with the quick link, with the 13 speed, it was not so easy to just walk into a bike store. Something you might want to pre-order. You might want to pre-order before if you go on a longer bike trip. It's a bit of a planning thing, I would say. And the quick release, which makes it look very clean now without the quick release, but maybe I'm going to change to a quick release in the future. Thanks a lot, and if you like the video, then leave a comment and tell me maybe if you have the same bike, what you would add now, or what you like, what you don't like about the bike, and yeah, see you around.